What I needed was not a new weapon, but a new animal.
A new animal?
Exactly so.
You found one?
Yes. Here on my island, I hunt the most dangerous game.
Most dangerous game?
Most dangerous game? What could it be?
The game I am hunting is all of you.
We are going to hunt you cricket.
What happens if I get caught?
Ooh, don't get caught. Don't get caught. Well, there he goes.
Hunt man? You raving maniac.
Well, conventional wisdom says good fleeing will always be good chasing. But the stats say put your money on the guy with the gun.
And the hunt begins.
Indeed, indeed. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Most Dangerous Podcast, a show about the many incarnations of the most dangerous game. I'm Travis Fishburne.
Hi, I'm Alex Brunel.
I'm Dustin Meadows.
And this week we are covering the 2003 film by William Friedkin, Oscar winner William Friedkin.
A lot of Oscar power in this movie. Doesn't show.
Billy Freeds.
The Hunted. Which this was kind of like on the fly call that I made last week. And it's a movie that does not quite have the same mechanics as the ones we've been watching, where there's an established game with rules of, can you do this? Can you escape this in a certain amount of time?
Right.
It's more of a like philosophical, like similar things going on as far as like Benicio Del Toro lining up with what Zaroff is going after.
Yeah.
This is the first time you guys have watched this. What do you think of the movie?
I dug it. It was fun. The action sequences are really solid. A lot of really good fight choreography, especially with the knife fight stuff. Yeah, I feel like there's not really much fat on this movie. It's, I think, 93, 94 minutes.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was very excited. I was like, oh man, I love seeing a movie under 100 minutes.
Same.
So already started off on a good feeling, and then I feel like it's paced pretty well. It moves really quickly. They don't waste a lot of time with anything. Most of the movie is a chase sequence.
Yes.
Also true.
Which is kind of great.
Weird how much you keep going, Dustin.
I was just gonna say, I was reading this. I saw there were a lot of comparisons to First Blood with this, and they're not wrong. This is essentially First Blood if John Rambo was exactly what everyone thought he was and was a lunatic, basically.
Yeah. That's a very good comparison that I didn't think of.
Yeah, this is the original ending of First Blood when Troutman shoots John Rambo at the end.
My comparison is more just because like this comes, 10 years after The Fugitive, and you have Tommy Lee Jones chasing down another guy, and that, I feel like they hired him kind of based on that. It seems like.
Yeah, I definitely the scene when he's chasing him through the city streets and like he disappears in the crowd and then doubles back. Like I thought of the St. Patrick's Day scene from The Fugitive big time.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
I did not love this movie. There were a lot of things I liked about it. Like Dustin said, the action choreography, the knife fight choreography, which is a Filipino martial art, apparently, that I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of. But that was all very good, very tense. Really, really liked those scenes. I liked the minimalism of the score in those scenes as well. It wasn't overbearing and it wasn't telling us to feel a certain way. It was just underscoring this very tense, like one-on-one, like millimeters away from death at every second fight, which both times that happens, it's great. Tommy Lee Jones is endlessly watchable. Like, oh my god, he's so good in this movie. I would have loved kind of more of him hanging out, I guess. I don't know. I want more. I like you said, Dustin, there's no fat, but to me there didn't feel like there was enough character in the movie either.
Oh yeah, there's definitely not.
And with Tommy being as good as he was in this movie, I kind of wanted more of that. I loved the flashback sequence, like the training sequence. I thought that was very, very cool.
Yeah, the training stuff was great.
The opening of the movie is harsh. Like that kind of outdoes Turkey Shoot is like a really harsh way to open a movie. So there's a lot of things I liked about it, but just like ultimately there just felt like so many times where like Benicio should have just been shot by the FBI, or
see that.
Like, you know, the movie. This isn't a criticism, but it happened. You know, like the movie that I thought was the movie ended in 30 minutes, and then this whole other thing happens. That was an interesting thing, and I like that we got back into the woods. But I don't know. This movie didn't really hit it for me, and like there are the comparison. There are some. This is like as close to a rule as the movie gets, I think. When you kill with your hands, there is a reverence. There is no reverence in what you do, is what he says to these deer hunters. You know, so he has his code of some kind of warped ethics about it still. So there is that aspect. But as far as its relation to Most Dangerous Game, this felt like so tangential to me that, you know, yeah. So I would, you know, I liked some stuff. I wouldn't watch it again. I like the cast. I would love a movie of like this Tommy Lee Jones character solving some kind of you know, what happened in the snowy woods where he lives in British Columbia.
Yeah, give it the U.S. Marshals treatment.
Yeah. The tracking stuff was great too. Like, I love that.
And that opening sequence with getting the wolf out of the snare and then him confronting those guys, like. Also felt like it ended very abruptly. Like it felt like there was more scene.
Yeah.
And they just cut it where it's like, nah, we're not going to put this other stuff in here. I was like, oh, I was like, his character already had me. Like it was going somewhere.
Right. So like, yeah, I would love that movie. Maybe, you know, I would probably be more interested in that movie than this movie. But you know, that's life. Trav, had you seen this before?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd seen it back when it was released, not theatrically, but like right when it came out on DVD, and I had not seen it since. And what you said about like what you thought was the movie like ending in 30 minutes, that's all I remembered was like,
interesting.
I thought the whole movie, like I was thinking it's like two guys like hunting each other out in the woods, and I completely forgot about the, you know, the capture and the, you know, all the turns that go on in that realm.
Yeah, it's a very weird tonal shift.
It is. And that first like pursuit hunt through the woods is like really, really good. The hunter sequence I thought was like fine. That felt like kind of very run of the mill early 2000s action-y to me. But the Tommy Lee Jones like tracking Benicio through the woods, leading to his hidey hole, and that little confrontation before the capture, that was like a really, really, really good sequence. I really enjoyed that. Caleb Deschanel shot this movie and I think did an excellent job. Like when the photography shines, it shines. You always understand geographically kind of the scenario, the situation you're in and the environment that you're in. You always have a good sense of the space in this movie, which is great because like this movie is shot on beautiful locations. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going for it. I don't know.
Yeah, also beat Dawn of the Dead to the punch by a year for using that Johnny Cash song.
Yep.
In the credits.
That's right. Yeah, this is the last film credit of Johnny Cash doing the narration at the beginning.
Which I guess I didn't realize was recorded for the film.
Yeah, until I saw that in the credits, I just assumed it was taken from one of the various weird American recordings things that he did.
Oh yeah, huh?
Because I know he does that the Bible verse quote at the beginning of When the Man Comes Around.
Yeah.
the pale horse bit, so I just assumed that him doing another Bible verse is like, oh, okay, this must be from his cover of Soundgarden's Rusty Cage off that album or whatever.
They could have just taken Johnny Cash and had him read the whole Bible, and then had just a plethora of different, excerpts to use for, films and various things throughout history.
Well, if Rick Rubin's smart, those are all sitting in a vault somewhere, just waiting to be rolled out as the Cash archives.
Oh yeah.
Just like they
Cash
did with all
more
that
than
Prince
one way.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh man. As far as other relations to other movies we've seen in this series, this is the second movie now in a row with spike logs. So that's fun.
The traps.
When those come out, I'm like, when did he have time to do this?
It's very fast.
How did he do this?
Swims
Hey,
like a
did
fish.
this?
Swims like a fish, rigs the things. Sorry, Dustin.
He blacksmithed a repurposed machete knife.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like that's what he took most of his time doing. So then
Yeah.
when those things come out, I'm like, whoa.
Oh, can you believe these spike logs were just laying around out here in the Pacific Northwest?
No snake in this movie though.
Yeah.
Bummer
Yeah, no
the-
snake.
Bummer the snake chain has been broken.
Yeah, I think this is, we can safely say right now, this is the second best action sequences in one of these we've seen.
Oh, absolutely.
With Hard Target being number one. But yeah, God, that knife fight is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that this movie has in common with Hard Target is James Jack's producer.
Oh, nice.
Jim Jacks produced both of these movies and also Mallrats.
Jimmy Jacks.
But I found that interesting. Just
Yeah. So this was a Universal picture, right?
yeah, and
So-
Hard Target was New Line, right?
No, it was Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but this was, what is this one? This is Paramount, no?
No, I think this was, well, maybe that was Paramount. No, you might be right. Oh,
Yeah, no, this is Paramount. But
Okay.
but it was Alphaville, which is what
mm-hmm.
what James
Yeah.
what Jax worked with was Alphaville. So anyway, connections. One of the things I read about this movie is that and this is just working in the industry and thinking about these things. Tommy Lee Jones got $20 million for this role.
Really?
Which is, I'm just thinking, I don't think you could finance a movie like this for $20 million in 2022. For the entire budget of the movie, I think you could, there wouldn't even be a $20 million movie, this movie.
Yeah, no.
So that's just wild to me that 2003 is still the kind of end of this era in Hollywood where money is just getting thrown around like that.
Yeah. It's the only...
It still is, but just not on actors. Sorry, go ahead, Dustin.
Well, I was going to say, the only thing I could think of immediately off the top of my head is Red Notice. The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot were all paid $20 million for that, but
that's wild.
That's definitely an exception. Also, that movie is painfully mediocre.
That movie looks like it was written by a focus group.
Wasn't it written by a computer?
It's written by Ross and Marshall Thurber, who did Dodgeball, Central Intelligence, Skyscraper, and one or two others. Mm-hmm. Central Intelligence was okay, and I like Dodgeball a lot. Oh, I didn't realize he did We're the Millers too. Yeah, there you go.
But are any of those movies that are good because of their scripts?
I think Dodgeball is
fair.
Yeah,
I mean, We're the Millers. All it has is the script, basically.
I haven't seen that.
Well, I mean, the performances are solid. It's just a raunchy comedy. It's the comedy that has Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis in it that isn't garbage.
Right. I forgot that existed.
Yeah.
But yeah, 60 million Red Notice. That's almost a third of that movie's budget. It's insane to me that movie cost $200 million.
Oh my God.
Should we do an episode on Red Notice?
No. It just makes me it just makes me depressed. That movie's existence just is a total bummer to me. I'm glad that those people will be able to provide for several generations of their family. Great, sure, but
I mean, they already were able to. I don't
Yeah.
think Reynolds, Godot, or The Rock were hurting for money.
I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds. Freaking Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
He got,
I'll do Red Notice, but we all have to get drunk for it.
Fine. We can do it. Angela and I had brunch today. I had 3 mimosas this afternoon. So if we do it as a brunch time podcast, I will be saucy.
Hey, if we do a brunch Red Notice, bottomless mimosas.
Could that get some? You know what that should be? That should just be like a live watch commentary thing.
Yeah.
Act like I won't get day drunk and watch a movie and talk about it on the internet with you guys.
Yeah. I don't know how the legalities work out of live streaming a commentary. We'd figure it out off the air.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I think we just give them the commentary track and then they watch, just like with riff tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the things. So what else about The Hunted? I'm looking through my notes. There's
you talked about just like the Oscar power of this movie, which is weird. Like, I showed Sarah the trailer before we watched it, and it's like, Oscar-winning director plus the 2 leads.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, that's right. And she asked, she's like, what did Friedkin win an Oscar for? I'm like, The French Connection in 1971. And she's like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah, and he's been writing that for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else he did around this time. No, Ronan was Frankenheimer. So.
Yeah, it was like around the time his next movie after this was Bug. The movie before this really was Rules of Engagement and
okay.
The sexy thriller Jade from 1995.
Is Bug like that weird, like kind of little horror movie with Ashley Judd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, 20 guesses at gunpoint. I never would have guessed Friedkin did that.
I know, and like I've never had an interest in Jade, but like now I kind of do as a weird just like scientific history watch, because it's like 1995, William Friedkin, Joe Esterhazy's script starring David Caruso, Linda Fiorentino, and Chaz Palminteri, and Michael Biehn is in this movie too. Like, and it's an hour 35. It can't be good, but it might be fun.
But at that runtime, you can't afford not to.
I think that's the right attitude.
I think if any movie clocks in under 100 minutes, 99% of the time, I'm probably willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Listen, Something Like a Business, I thought the same thing about. It was under 80 minutes, and it felt like an eternity. So sometimes there are reasons.
That's fair. There are exceptions. I have sat through Adam Sandler's Going Overboard, so I get that.
There was one movie I worked on. This was I think the second feature I ever worked on after I moved to Los Angeles. And I'm not going to name the name, but if anybody is curious, it's not hard to figure it out. But the movie, I think the movie is 82 minutes, but the actual runtime of the movie is about 69 minutes. And then a lot of time in the credits is padded by YouTube fan videos. Yeah.
Wow.
There's also a version of that movie released that they didn't mat it correctly, and you could see all the marks on the ground during the fight scenes, and it was really stupid. It's the stupidest movie I ever worked on.
Is this like a relatively well-known movie? Is this like super... Okay.
It's pretty obscure. Yeah. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's called Breaking Wind. It's a Twilight parody. It's by the director of The 41-Year-Old Virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it.
I was just about to ask if there was any relation to those post-blank movie era of really specific bad parodies.
Yes, and then he went on to make the series of movies called Badasses or Badass with Danny Trejo and Danny Glover. He made all those in New Orleans. He was a super nice dude, the director. Super nice, just that movie's a stinker.
I mean, literally from the title, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, like it's really one 69-minute long fart joke. With funny people. I mean, like we laughed a lot making it. Just I bought some of the wardrobe after the movie. Actually, there was like a Willy Wonka coat because there was a whole sequence in that movie where all of the pop culture iterations of Johnny Depp fight each other. So there's like Edward Scissorhands and Jack Sparrow and the Mad Hatter and Willy Wonka and like all the things that are Johnny Depp costumes were in the movie. And I think they were maybe fighting the Na'vi. Yeah, there were definitely
that sounds about right.
There were definitely Avatar people in there.
3 or 4 years too late to the party on that reference. That sounds like about right.
And this is all in the context of a Twilight parody movie.
Was there a Johnny Depp secret window character in the fight?
No. Unfortunately, I would have actually really laughed at that. There was just like one of them was just a guy with that haircut and glasses and a sweater.
And that hat that he takes from Johnson Spirit.
The hat.
You stole my story.
Oh my god, that would have been great. But yeah, I have like the Willy Wonka coat from that movie because it was just like this cool coat.
That's amazing. I mean, funny people are in bad movies all the time. Like
that was the movie where I learned that like people work on stuff like that because they are good at what they do. They just need a job.
I wrote off a lot of the later Mad TV talent because they were on that show. But then, like Andrew Daly, Key and Peele,
sure.
Ike Barinholtz, have all gone on. And Ike Barinholtz was in a lot of those bad parody movies, too.
He was.
And he's actually really funny.
He is really funny.
So, it happens.
Mm-hmm. The Hunted.
Cool. So, yeah, The Hunted. You got creepy Benicio Del Toro.
God, he's so good in this.
Yeah.
He's pretty wild.
Traffic win.
There's one thing. There's just stuff that the movie didn't expound upon that I was interested in.
Yes.
Like in particular, early on when they have Del Toro captured, or whatever during when he tells Tommy Lee Jones that those hunters were sweepers. Like,
yes,
I would have liked that. I would have liked more of this. I would have liked some elaboration on what that is, which I have read online since then. It is he thinks they were sent in to kill him.
Cleanup crew.
Oh.
I didn't know that terminology, so
when he said that, that's what I figured.
Gotcha.
And then especially, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Well, and then especially in the context later when he's in the van and they're getting ready to like discreetly kill him.
Yes.
While he's in custody, because there's that whole like, oh, is he actually lost it? Is he crazy? Or is he being set up? And then, I wish they'd flesh that out a little bit more. Because it seems
I didn't
weird.
Feel that at all.
Yeah, it seems weird to introduce it and then either not resolve it or have it play into anything beyond that scene. Because so I actually thought of U.S. Marshals, the sequel to The Fugitive after this, because that's exactly what happens to Wesley Snipes' character in that movie. He's this government operative who's been on a lot of black ops stuff and gets framed for a murder in the beginning and is on the run, but he's on the run to clear his name. Whereas like Benicio Del Toro is killing people, maybe they were bad,
right? But
then he definitely killed some people that had nothing to do with it,
right?
Yeah.
So
it's weird, like that angle. It was still like unclear to me, like what that was going for.
Yeah. So I would have loved that elaborated upon. And one of the things I'm seeing here is that Friedkin says in the DVD commentary that it's purposely left ambiguous whether they were sent in to kill him or not. Like it's purposely unexplored. And that just actually really makes me want to listen to the commentary track for this movie and hear what Friedkin is saying about this. Yeah.
Like, I can buy that when there's evidence set up to support it, but that just sounds like writing it off at the expense of, like, lazy writing and not seeing those problems when they read the script initially.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way to me, too. Like,
at the end of American Psycho, when it's all like, oh, was it all in his mind, or did he really do it? they set up evidence to support it either way. So it's not this lazy thing. It was like, oh, we don't know. It's like, well, I think you don't know. The difference when they tell us that they don't know in American Psycho is that they do know. There's a definitive answer, but they've set it up that both is supported and they don't have to tell us.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to like something being overlooked and then like, oopsie, yeah, I meant to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through more of my notes if I have.
Yeah, that is an interesting point with he talks about like the scopes that they're using. And I was drawn to those when we saw the hunters. I'm like, look at those things.
Because that's like a sniper scope. That's like a wild friggin' military tool.
Well, and Rex Lynn too frequently plays like government agents. The hunter with the mustache from Cliffhanger and Rush Hour.
Oh yeah,
he frequently plays those types of characters, oftentimes corrupt versions of those characters.
Sure.
So like, I mean, that was supported, and then even the way that they were going to handle him in the van with Mark Pellegrino, the Jacob from Lost.
Yeah.
Like they set it up as like, oh. This does seem like he is being set up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, why even have that conversation? Like, why even spell all that stuff out? Like, why not just shoot him in the head and like whatever? Say he tried to escape or something. It just seems really weird, and it seems like they were trying to set us up for that, and then they just didn't really put in any more footwork beyond that.
Well, two things about that section of the movie with the Black Ops guys that come to get him. Their defense for like why they have to take him is basically like he's permanently psychologically only a killing machine because Black Ops like fucked his brain so bad. And that seems like not really a thing that any like
he's untouchable. You can't do anything to him because he's just
that I don't know. But then the other thing, were those guys like, am I wrong, or did I see Mark Pellegrino in Kosovo in the very beginning of the movie?
Yeah, he was in the very beginning. He was in the unit with them.
So that's his team, right? That came to get him and then was taking him out.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's what I was thinking. That's what it seemed like to me, but I wasn't totally sure.
Yeah, so like that part of it made sense, but again, it's just like why the charade? Like, do you know how easy it would be? Maybe not to kill him, but to have somebody killed in prison.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it just seemed like a lot of weird stuff to like even bring up and deal with in the first place.
Yeah.
They're probably like, oh, this movie is just over 80 minutes. We need to pad it out a little bit.
And then another thing that I found weird in the plot was the whole Irene character. Like in her entirety.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That diversion seems pointless.
Like, I understand, she was lying to the FBI, but she told them that she had known Aaron for like 8 months, and she scolds him for being gone for 6 months. I am very curious what the actual depth and timeline of their relationship is, or the context of it. Obviously, that's not his daughter because she calls him by his first name. But like
I was confused on that issue, and I looked up the Wikipedia. It's like, okay, this is not his daughter.
Yeah. So like, I was just kind of like, what is their bond? How deep? Like, what was it? The relationship is not talked about enough or not described enough for us to actually know. And that was a little frustrating, especially because it was set up and then like immediately went away once they left the house.
Yeah, it would have been cleaner if it like had been like an ex-wife with a daughter or something that was just like, this is clearly established what this is.
And it wouldn't have been very difficult. It would have been like 2 lines of dialogue, maybe.
Oh, and then it just seems unnecessary. It's there to set up the pursuit that happens next. Yes. Which is like, if that was the case, like, all his training, he can't just hotwire any car?
Right. This chase sequence is badass, though. I love from the second he jumps out the window.
Oh yeah, that jump is so good. Like it almost looks like a jump that would be played for comedic effect too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he just yeets himself at it. But yeah, like when the van that he's in crashes earlier, and like all the people are gathered around, and like he's by that car, I was like, oh okay, he's just gonna steal that car and get out of there. That makes sense. No, then he goes and sits on a log, waits till everyone looks away, and then just Batman's into thin air. It's like, all right, like people are still gonna look for you. You probably could have just stolen the car and gotten a little ways away. Yeah. It seemed like there were things that were obvious and should have been there, and then there were things that were just wholly unnecessary. Like, I'm glad we get this chase sequence. It's a great chase sequence.
Sure.
It just how we get there just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And also to Alex's point, during the whole chase sequence, there were multiple times where he could have just been taken out by a sniper.
Right, like I'm thinking like how many he's killed. Like they know he's killed people. He is on the run. He is obviously extremely dangerous, and like they know he's ex-Black Ops. So like I don't understand an FBI that doesn't just like try to shoot to kill during this entire thing.
Yeah, he's out in the open climbing the bridge like George of the Jungle.
Yeah. And then even like toward the end of the movie on the bridge, there's a good like 30-second window where he is just in the clear, very easy shot, and who's the lady, FBI lady, Connie Nielsen just doesn't give the order, so no one does anything, and then by the time she does, he's all up in the rafters and they can't get him.
Yeah,
like it's her fault Ron Canada died. Kenyatta? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I assume it's Canada.
How do you like that segue, Travis?
Yeah, let's throw it up, because with Ron Canada comes this week's the truck connections.
Yeah. And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
And Ron Canada, he got to appear in 3 different Star Trek series: Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. So
wow.
Yeah. So he got to play, I remember this episode, the Masterpiece Society in the Next Generation. And then we got him as a Klingon named Ch'pak in Deep Space Nine. And his character named Fasek in Voyager. All different guys, all different fun Ron Canada.
And I gotta say, while we're talking about Ron Canada, this movie did him dirty. He, I mean, just him they wrote his character stupid. Meaning like he's approaching this guy. I don't understand why the first thing that an FBI investigator sees isn't the shiny pool of blood dripping from the guy's hand. It's the first thing I noticed from like the wide shot when he's approaching.
Yeah,
it's there the whole time. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, little less FB and a little more iron, dude.
Oh, poor what a fate. What a fate he suffers. And then the other guy, knife to the neck. Oof.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jose Zuniga from Con Air.
Yes.
Yeah. He's got such a distinctive face.
He does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice little character actor turns in here too.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's a 93-minute movie.
Yeah. I
With,
don't know.
like you said, not a whole lot of
not a lot of meat on the bones.
Character, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Should we talk about what to do next week? So let's say, I mean, I'm not trying to wrap up the show, but like, let's have a leisurely chat about what we might discuss next week. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Jump around to a different decade again.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Alex has been wanting to visit the 70s.
I have been wanting to visit the 70s.
Which, those are all the weird ones.
They do seem to be the weird ones. Let me bring up the list. So I'm looking at that. Here we go. The most dangerous podcast media database is what I'm looking at. Oh, I can check off The Hunted now. So let's see. So the 60s, we have The Suckers, The Woman Hunt, Maneater, and The Perverse Countess, which I think are all exploitation or straight up porno.
Okay.
So
we'll just do all of those for the next episode.
So I think in lieu, I would actually pitch between The Suckers from 1972 or Confessions of a Psychocat from 1968. The Suckers, 1972. A rich and powerful big game hunter tires of tracking and killing animals and gets an idea. He will invite the owners of a model agency he knows and 2 of their models to be guests on his estate for the weekend and use them as the objects of his latest hunt. So there's that option. And then the 1968 Confessions of a Psychocat. A deranged wealthy woman offers $100,000 to 3 men if they can stay alive for 24 hours in Manhattan and then hunts them down. And that movie is 69 minutes long.
Nice.
A lot of 69-minute movies this week.
I know. So I would pitch one of those 2 for next week, whichever way you guys would lean. But these seem, like real descendants of Most Dangerous Game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in watching both of them, but
I'm pro watching just about everything we got on the list. Which one of those is Russ Myers?
I neither of them are Russ Meyer, but Confessions of a Psychocat seems closer to a Russ Meyer type of thing than The Suckers. The Suckers is a booby movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Confessions of a Psychocat, because I feel like most of our movies, the hunt portions have been kind of confined to like actual wilderness settings for the most part.
That's true. We did get some urban hunting in which one? In Hard Target.
Yeah, like very little though. Yeah. Very little.
That wasn't Joe Morton. In my head was it Joe? No. Joe
Morton
that
was in The
Pest.
Of all things.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So okay. Confessions of a Psychocat next week. I don't know if it's available to watch easily, but we can.
Yeah.
Check it out. This is live, people. And for the people on Facebook, it's extra live.
Double live.
That movie's not streaming. Y'all are gonna have to dig up a DVD or use some of your own magic to watch along Confessions of a Psychocat with us, or just join and see what the things are. I would love it so much if there wind up being Trek connections for this movie.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm already taking a look at the cast list, and it's not only one person has a photo.
Yeah, I mean, one guy's name is Dick Lord.
Yeah.
Wait, is Ricardo Montalban not in this movie? I'm out.
All right, well, we'll talk more about Confessions of a Psychocat next week, obviously. But I don't know, The Hunted. I'm still really enjoying this whole series of movie watching.
Oh
this is a total blast. These have been like the only movies I've been watching recently for the most part.
Yeah. This actually came up in my Facebook memories today. This is the 2-year anniversary of the week that I watched a bunch of Most Dangerous Game movies leading up to the release of The Hunt.
Oh damn, okay.
So
what an anniversary.
Yeah, what a fun time. I think it was probably 5 movies over 5 days.
That's awesome. Well, we're going a bit deeper.
Oh yeah. Well, we've already hit 2 of the 5 that I watched that week. So.
What were the other 3?
I did Surviving the Game.
Oh sure.
Mm-hmm. The Condemned. And then The Hunt. Oh no, I did 6. Because I also watched Ready or Not that week.
Oh nice. Ready or Not is a descendant for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm looking. This is a fun thing. Is movie taglines, and so I'm looking at the taglines for The Hunted. The The first one is some men should not be found. Another tagline is some men must be found.
Which is
Make up your mind.
I mean, both are true.
Yeah.
Most men shouldn't be found.
That's very true. What happens when the hunter becomes the hunted? And last one, in this game of hide and seek, if you're it, you're dead.
I want one of these to just have the tagline, what happens when the hunted becomes the hunter? Because it doesn't play as well as it does the other way.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that'll be an interesting thing to explore for future ones. I'll be interested to see taglines for surviving the game. I am itching for that pretty soon now, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm pro watching anything that I see has a large role in.
Yeah, I feel like my body is ready. The Ice-T years. That was really, he did like for just a couple years in the mid 90s. Ice-T was in a lot of disparate random stuff that's all really fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. New Jack City.
Tank Girl. Yeah. Ice-T.
Tank Girl.
Bless him.
I'm going back. I'm looking at taglines for Hard Target.
Oh, great.
We've got catch him if you can. And don't hunt what you can't kill.
Yeah.
Sound advice.
You mean the tagline wasn't "Gator eat the shotgun"?
That should be on the soundboard.
There's only one tagline for the pest. What kind of freakazoid would let somebody hunt him just to collect 50,000? Next question.
That's an awful tagline.
That's a terrible tagline.
That sounds like somebody had a stroke while they were pitching the movie.
What studio did that movie? That was like a real marketing department. That was like
I see that tagline is literally on the poster.
Oh wait, that was the Sid Sheinberg production. That was like the Bubble Factory Paramount deal. That was like Sid Sheinberg, a man of poor taste.
What kind of freakazoid would allow himself to be hunted for $50,000? Does anybody else smell toast?
Yeah. Also, how many days was that movie written in?
3.
100-page screenplay in 3 days. Are you trying to f me? If you f me, I will f you.
Oh man,
that's John Goodman in Trumbo. That point is brought up in that movie, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is fun!" I'm pulling this.
I was wondering what that was from. I was like, "That's not from Barton Fink."
Oh man, Barton.
That's definitely not from Monsters Inc.
Is there not the Monsters Inc. movie where they try to make their movie?
Oh yeah, Monster Studios.
Monster Studios.
Monsters Kickstarter, proof of concept.
The Monsters Inc. Indiegogo campaign. Love you, Indiegogo.
Monsters Patreon.
Only monsters.
Finally, we'll get to see Sully hang some sweet blue dong.
He doesn't wear pants, does he?
Nope.
Nobody does.
I imagine it's just like a cat's.
Guys, I realize this is not one of our Star Wars podcasts, but seeing as how I just saw this the other night, I have to comment on the fact that female cartoon huts have breasts, and that is weird.
Yeah. It's something that's in all the
They are nipple-free bare bosoms on female huts, which are slugs, and that is just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Get dicked down by a Wookiee or a Jawa, totally fine with. Space slugs start getting their nut. No, I'm out. Do you think Greedo's penis is shaped like his nose?
I had that same thought when there was a shot in Clone Wars of Palpatine in profile. I had that same thought. And then further I wondered if there was any correlation between force sensitivity and penis size. The unanswerable questions of Star Wars.
Oh my.
That's
what that metachlorian count is all about?
Oh no, what is it? We hardly saw Mace Windu use the Force at all. Oh no. Sam Jackson's been faking the funk.
We all excited, aren't we?
We see Kit Fisto use it though, so it's not just a clever name.
Fisto. That's all I got on that. It's just glad I got to say that on the internet. That's all.
That's been a nice little diversion. We hadn't talked about penises enough during the Hunted.
No, not nearly. There's no hanging dong in the woods.
I will say, I know we already talked about the fight choreography. One of the other huge benefits is I like the way that this is edited, because especially with a lot more of the more recent action stuff, the fights are like cut so quickly that you can barely really follow the action.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really solid longer takes during the sequence, so you actually see that choreography, and it's beautiful to watch. It's so great. It's just so well choreographed. They beat Winter Soldier to the mark by about a decade when he does the drop the knife and catch it move.
Oh
yeah, that was good. I like that. That was a man. Yeah, and Tommy Lee Jones really got stabbed a lot in that last fight.
Oh yeah, they did some damage.
He got cut up, like, man.
I think that like none of these fights weren't really flashy.
No.
Like they were. I was like these guys spent days, probably weeks, like training with people, which they did, like, and really like learned this stuff well.
Yeah.
Oh, another point I wanted to talk about was when Benicio just like lets himself bleed for a second and then he uses it to blind Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, that was great. I had to rewind that because I wasn't sure what happened. I was like, what? He didn't cut him. What? I was like, oh, he threw his blood at him.
Mm-hmm. It was a solid move. And then I loved Tommy's whole reaction to that whole thing, like backing up against a tree, just blindly swiping, and then like he's looking out ahead of him, and then like just as soon as my brain is going, what if he's behind the tree? He looks behind the tree. Very good. That was very good stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff between them is really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. I also love that Tommy Lee Jones kept referring to him as my boy.
Yeah.
You guys are hunting down my boy.
Yeah, I mean the father-son dynamic is.
Oh yeah,
the
like
subtext is strong.
He has straight up Troutman lines from First Blood.
Right.
But how many more people are you gonna send after him that you want to get killed or whatever?
Right. Like what is your acceptable body count? Figure that out now. Like that.
That's his. You're gonna need something else. Body bags.
Yeah. That stuff is all very good. I just but also like back, and then it's still within the mechanics of a movie where like I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen an action movie where the protagonist comes face to face with the antagonist so many times before being able to take him down. Like real like face to face conversational like moments happens a lot in this movie.
Yeah, I would say the only time that it comes close would be in the non-hit Most Dangerous Game related Face Off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point. Wish that was a version of Most Dangerous Game.
We could have just like kept going with John Woo movies.
Yeah.
What a movie
What's
is.
the most dangerous game? He doesn't hunt him. He becomes him. The most dangerous game.
Oh, it's been way too long since I've seen Face Off, and I'm gonna have to.
Oh, I watch Face Off like every 3 or 4 years.
It's
so great.
I think the only thing that I don't really care for. I think the final boat chase is kind of weak.
It is a little.
That's also because outside of Last Crusade, I don't think I've seen a boat chase in a movie that I enjoyed watching.
Boat chases are tough.
Yeah, that's hard.
I I made a like little, backyard movie with my brother a number of years ago while we were on vacation, and we did a boat chase in canoes, and that was very funny to us. No, there was a kayak and a canoe. But yeah, that was funny because it was stupid. But yeah, boat chases are hard to do in features.
They usually bring things to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
And probably also because they're just so hard to control. It's hard to control jet skis and boats because you cannot control the water in that way. The same way you can things on land or even air.
Waterworld being a beautiful exception to all of these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love it so much.
I've been meaning to do a rewatch, especially because Michelle hasn't seen it. And especially we went to Universal last September for our 5-year anniversary. Just like the Waterworld stunt show.
It's a great show.
I was like, oh yeah, I need to rewatch Waterworld.
If you want to borrow my Blu-ray, so I'm gonna take a Waterworld diversion real quick. So Waterworld was like basically taken over in the edit by Kevin Costner, and then and Kevin Reynolds was off the movie.
Yeah, and Kevin taking it from Kevin.
Yep. And then a few years later, Waterworld had its like TV broadcast premiere on like ABC, and they restored a lot of Kevin Reynolds's cut material into the TV version. And so, but it was then cut for violence. So now there's this 3-hour version of Waterworld that contains a lot more story and like does some really cool stuff. But it doesn't have any of the swearing in it. Some years later, a DVD comes out that has this extended version. So it's the only time anyone's ever seen it in widescreen, but it's still censored for violence and language. And then there was a fan on the internet, in the fan edit scene by the screen name of McFly89, who created the Ulysses cut, which was just the long cut with the censored bits cut back in for the longest version of Waterworld possible. When Arrow licensed Waterworld to put out Waterworld, they recreated the Ulysses cut, a fan edit that never properly existed, and used the same name. It's called the Ulysses cut on the Blu-ray.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
But that is the way to watch Waterworld. If
I was going to say, I want to see this.
Yeah, the Arrow Blu-ray of Waterworld is a beautiful release. And Dustin, if you want to borrow it so you can watch the Ulysses cut, that would be
I would
pleasure.
love to, because I only have the DVD cut that came out when it got released.
Yeah. Arrow's transfer is great. The color grade is beautiful.
I've got a few of theirs. Like I think I've got the Tremors one they did. Arrow does.
Yeah, Arrow does great work.
I'm just gonna spend way too much money on boutique Blu-rays.
Oh, I know, it's terrible. But strong recommend on the Ulysses cut of Waterworld, and also just owning that release of Waterworld. It's a very, very good release.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Well-deserved release for a movie that, had its moments for some people, but that's what Arrow is actually really good at. They also did that beautiful edition of Dune that came out last year, of Lynch's Dune, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
They did a really great release for Mallrats last year, too.
That is on my list.
It has the TV cut, which is great.
Oh.
It's hilarious. It's got all the things. Oh, and the great thing about the Arrow Blu-ray of Mallrats is like, if you saw it, I've seen it on DVD so many times, and the Universal Blu-ray so many times, and I'm just used to the look of it, which is like a noise reduced to all hell, very plasticky looking, bright mid-90s movie. And Arrow did not give it that post treatment, so it looks like a real movie again, and it's like really nice to watch.
Nice.
Arrow releases. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
The most
Sponsor
dangerous
us, Arrow.
game. Thumbs up.
Give us free Blu-rays.
Yeah, please. We'll review.
We'll talk you up.
Yeah, Arrow, just watch anybody.
Yeah.
Give us a sponsor plug.
Yeah.
We are fans of things that are products and could potentially sponsor us to talk about them. And we would be happy to, because we like them.
Yeah, I bought American Werewolf, Reanimator, and RoboCop from you guys. Come on.
The long cut of Reanimator that's on Arrow's release, that's also not a cut of the movie that ever existed. Arrow put that together.
Oh,
that is impressive. I was really disappointed. This is semi-related. Scream Factory did the Event Horizon release, Blu-ray release last year that did not have the director's cut that so many were hoping would be on there with all the destroyed footage.
Yeah, they apparently still can't find it.
Yeah, huge
Insane.
Bummer. Because Event Horizon is great.
It's a bummer to me because apparently there is a VHS of that cut that exists. Like it seemed in what I've read that a producer or Paul W.S. Anderson has a VHS of this stuff, but like I've seen crappy VHS source stuff put up as a bonus feature on other releases, like the preview cut of Ghostbusters that's on that Ghostbusters Ultimate set is definitely just a VHS tape. They didn't even like enhance it for anamorphic. If you watch it on a TV, you're gonna have black on like all four sides of the picture. But like, I don't know why you wouldn't just take a VHS tape and throw it on there, but
or even like those Lucasfilm like official releases of the original cuts from the laser discs,
right? Just like oh man, that was so depressing. I have those. 2006.
Like the more I think about it, it's crazy that they did that.
So I'm gonna bring it back to Star Wars. Mind if I just like summarize this little story?
As long as there are hut breasts involved.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Well, did George add them into anything? No. He just made.
Well,
them
they're in the Phantom Menace.
That's true. So like George Lucas famously, original trilogy wouldn't release it. Blah 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 blah. The first time Star Wars movies ever come out on DVD is in 2004, and they are further changed from the 1997 iterations. Many fans are upset by this. There is a renewed vigor for releasing the original unaltered trilogy on DVD, and the films are only available in a box set in 2004 in that initial release. Fast forward
the fucking Snyder Cut, baby!
Fast forward 2 years to 2006, the movies come out as individual disc releases with a bonus disc that contains the original unaltered version of the movie. And instead of just scanning a film print and dustbusting it and giving like a nice DVD era transfer of any of the Star Wars movies, they took the Betacam sources for the 1993 Laserdisc releases of all three movies and just threw them on there. Not anamorphic enhanced, big ass black bars on the top and bottom. And it was just like, it was kind of straight up insulting to Star Wars fans. Like, to like the fans that are, the only fans that really wanted that was an insult to.
I remember.
Yeah, I went out of my way to buy those because I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I start trying to watch and like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I have bootlegs that look better than this.
I remember I specifically held off on buying the original trilogy until that edition came out.
Yeah, and then what was your reward? Well, the subpar release.
That one day I'm going to shove George Lucas into a goddamn locker. That's my reward.
Any Star Wars nerds listening to the show, I encourage you to seek out 4K 77 and 4K 83 for the best viewing experience for Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. And 4K 80 is nearly released. There's beta releases of 4K 80 out now that look beautiful. And these are insane fans who have done amazing restoration work based on release prints of Star Wars movies. Holy crap. Totally different experience.
Very cool.
Anyway, next week on the Most Dangerous Podcast, we will be talking about Confessions of a Psycho Cat, which is, I'm also pretty sure, a booby movie. So, let's just, this podcast is going to be rated E for erotic.
I was like, E for everyone, because that's what I think of when I think of that.
So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to probably the weirdest movie that we've covered so far in the podcast.
Cool.
Confessions of a Psycho Cat, 1968. Available on a DVD or something.
Or something. All right. And until that time, Dustin, where can people find more of you?
Find me at DustinMeadowsComedy.com, at Dustin Meadows on Twitter and Instagram. Check out my other podcast, New Metal Who Dis, on all of the podcatchers. If you want to kiss me or fight me, just during the week sometime, come hang out around the SAG-AFTRA building on my lunch break, and we'll get shit done.
Cool.
Nice.
And Alex, how about you?
You can find me right here on this podcast. Don't find me on social media. Instead, go to YouTube and watch the music video for the song Reach by Martini Ranch, directed by James Cameron and Bill Paxton's
Nobody
new wave
understands
band.
that reference.
I know. But it's still a good recommendation. Go watch the music
just
video
do
for
it.
Reach by Martini Ranch. It's just a good idea.
You can find me at Travis Fishburne on Twitter. You can find the show at Who Watches Pod. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Twitch. Find us on Facebook. Find us anywhere you're streaming, downloading, all your goods. And subscribe, like, and review. And so until next week, stay alive and survive.
Hunt men?
Oh.
The most dangerous game?
Nope.
What could it be?
Wrong ones.
So that's your most dangerous game.